Everybody get up, no need to cram now. We got a real jam going down, going down, going down, going down, going down, going down. Welcome to the IntelliJAMS.
Have a good intro?
All right, just hit it.
Hit it.
I do. Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Christos, account executive here at IntelliGEMS. Really excited to be on the pod with you today, Alex. Just a little bit of brief history about myself. I've been with the company for about 2 years now. Started out in customer support, then moved over to customer success. And then for almost the last year now, I've been on the new business front. So at this point, safe to say I've worked with thousands of Shopify brands to help them make the most value out of IntelliGEMS. And here today to talk to Alex a little bit about that and what I do on a daily basis.
Let's jam. That was a hell of an intro. I was saying to Christos before we jumped on that the hardest question in any podcast is tell me about yourself. And he's like, nah, man, I got this. And he saved me from trying to pronounce his last name. So that was appreciated. Christos, you are the first. So you're a jack of all trades here at IntelliGEMS, but you're also the first person from the sales team to ever come do a jam. And I think that you have a lot of interesting perspective because on the sales team, you're talking to a lot of brands, but you also have all this historical context of like working with brands on their tests and like helping them through some of these decisions. So I think like maybe the place I want to start here, man, is what's the most common question you get on a sales call? Like what are people asking you?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of brands, they come to me. The specific segment that I work in is our growth segment, which is our smaller, more startup style brands. So a lot of these brands don't have a full, robust experimentation, practice in place. So a lot of brands are coming to me. They're saying, "What should we test first?" And my answer to that question is never just like bringing up IntelliGEMS and popping down the list of all the different things that we can do for the store. My answer is always to go into, what's going on behind the scenes that's keeping you up at night. How is your conversion rate going? What are you tracking your profit per visitor? Are you promotional? What's your shipping strategy? So the answer to what should we test first does not come from a list of experiments and hypotheses that aren't rooted in anything. The answer to that question is always going to be rooted in data. And IntelliGEMS, we do a great job of providing all of that data all in one place for you to go and get those hypotheses and put them into practice.
I love that. Someone asks, what should I test? You flip it back and say, hey, that's the wrong question. Why? Like, why are you here? What's going on? What's keeping you up at night? What's strategically important? And you said, hey, like we provide a lot of that data. It's easy to get started. Like, what does that look like? So I think something that I've seen you do a lot is you'll talk to these brands and be like, hey, just go, like before you even sign up, just go install the app so that we can come up with some hypotheses together.
Yeah. I mean, one of the many benefits of being a Shopify exclusive app is that getting started with IntelliGEMS is as simple as just installing us on the Shopify App Store, enabling us in your theme, and then we start populating all of those core metrics to your store right away before you even had a chance to like pick a plan or start a test or anything. Your profit per visitor, your conversion rate, your average order value, all of these key metrics for your business, they all start to populate right away. And so I always urge customers before we even get on a demo to go ahead and install that app. Let's see that data for your store and let's have a conversation about like what's going on behind the scenes that is bringing you to have this discussion today. And let's use data to come up with what those first experiments are, what those next experiments are on your roadmap.
Yes, dude. So someone comes in, I think like, what should I test first? A lot of people are coming in feeling like, hey, Christos is like, he's seen all these brands. He's going to have this list of like 5 things I should go do. And you're saying, no, it's not about that. It's like, hey, it's specific to you. Let's build some of these hypotheses together. So when you're taking a look at, they've installed this, you're seeing some of this data, like where are you looking and what's kind of like some of the most common things you see looking through that data to be like, hey, let's go. You should consider going to do this. You should consider experimenting here because of what I'm seeing.
Yeah. with our site-wide analytics, I mean, my personal favorite is our landing page tab in our site-wide analytics. It literally will give you an entire breakdown of every page on your site, which have the highest visitors, which are converting at the highest clip, which have the highest profit per visitor. And like I always say, like the highest value places that you can test, the lowest hanging fruit is always going to be the pages and parts of your site that have the most visitors, that have the most traffic. You always want to start there as far as like the low hanging fruit. That's where those small wins can really turn into big, big profits and margins on the back end, is just by testing at the highest converting pages and highest traffic pages on your site. And again, makes it really easy to kind of know exactly what those are just by looking at our site-wide analytics tab. But that goes beyond just landing page too. It could be desktop versus mobile. It could be specific sources and channels. And that's, leads me into the next thing that I urge every single brand to do, is not just to be testing and experimenting. The buck doesn't stop there. It's all about personalizing after the experiment as well. All of these different views that you have, whether that's desktop or mobile, source channels and source sites, we have the ability with IntelliGEMS to natively roll out those experiences that you're creating, whether that's a content change, an offer change, a checkout upsell. We have the ability and deep personalizations tools to roll out those experiences to each of those specific audiences. So you don't have to sacrifice between A or B anymore. We really allow you to get that deep personalization and go beyond just testing what's on your page and go beyond just testing in general.
Yeah, I dude, couldn't agree more. Go where the traffic is. That's where you're going to be able to like conduct those meaningful tests. And I think using the landing page filter is a great way to figure out, hey, where are those? And even if it's not like the most trafficked page, like, hey, a lot of brands might be sending a ton of traffic to a specific landing page from ads. Like, okay, there's a ton going on there. Okay, what if I have a hypothesis around returning customers or a particular channel? Okay, well, let's look at where that channel is sending the most traffic to. Let's look where returning customers are. And we can start to build, again, a strong hypothesis around what do I want to influence? What do I want to change? Because something that, I mean, I know you know this, like we jam about this all the time, is that CRO is kind of limited. It's in the name of like conversion rate optimization, is like you can go find those small conversion UX changes on those pages, and you absolutely should. I'll link into the comments. We had a jam with one of our co-founders just a little while ago where it was like, there's ads, there's multipliers, and there's exponential things you can be testing. And like, hey, that high traffic page is a great place to go find those ads. Like, hey, I can get more conversion here. I can get a bump here, a bump there. And those compound over time. It's like eating vegetables. Eating it once isn't really going to do anything, but if you keep on eating vegetables and keep on getting the supplements you need, it's going to pay dividends over time. So I really love that. In terms of like, you said, hey, go kind of beyond the page, test some of these bigger things. Like, how do you, when brands come to you and they say like, this is strategically important, this is what's keeping me up at night, like, how do you help them kind of come to terms with some of those like bigger things they should be going after that might not live on like the page specifically?
Yeah. I mean, it all comes out of that discovery and just learning, like, how are you thinking about your pricing strategy? Did you just pick that price out of a hat a couple years ago and that's what you've been running with? Why would your growth be slowing down? How much are you spending on ads? What is your shipping strategy? Do you offer free shipping? A lot of these things are what I'm researching prior to a call to come up with a very diagnosed kind of solution for each brand that comes in that wants to speak with me. But as it pertains to like these larger profit levers that you can be pulling, it all comes down to the actual like strategy of the business and helping to understand further. No brand is going to be exactly the same as another brand. I just got off of a call right before we joined here, Alex, with a premium apparel brand of which they're not promotional. So pitching on offer testing is not something that's going to be a big lever for them to pull. But they asked me, what can we do for our shipping rates? Like, how can we add a few more dollars to our shipping rates, is that going to increase in a meaningful way the revenue that we're going to get in return? And that's a great, example of like, not every lever is going to be equally as important to each brand, but just kind of trying to dissect and understand and discover how the brand is working behind the scenes as an operator, and not just like a web designer or a site user experience designer, and just trying to understand that strategy as a whole. And then that's where I can begin to start to diagnose different types of experiments and personalizations that are going to help grow that business.
Dude, you said something there that I haven't really thought through before, but hey, like I'm not here to help you just make UX recommendations. I'm here to help you better your business. I'm here to help you grow the business. And there's something at Intelligems we talk a lot about is, instead of CRO, like we talk a lot about GEM, or this growth experiment mindset. And that's what it's all about. It's like, how are you going to grow the business? What are your hypotheses around growing that business? For some brands, it might be like, hey, I need a higher subscription take rate. Like my hypothesis is that if I bring more people onto subscription, I'm going to have a more profitable, high growth business. For others, like when you said, hey, this is a premium apparel brand, one thing that's kind of on my to-do list is we have a channel where it's like, hey, who are some of the best brands we should be working with? Christos knows this. I'm always putting the cycling brands in there that I want to work with, and they have really high price points. And it's like, it'd be really interesting to be like, hey, where is that spot on price where it still feels premium and it still feels exclusive, but like, hey, maybe I can convert X amount more people by coming down $20. Maybe I can be even more premium priced. Maybe I'm priced low because like the people who are willing to buy me are willing to buy me at kind of like any price. Like that's a really interesting experiment to run if price is kind of like one of these premium ways to differentiate.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not one size fits all, Every single brand is going to have a different pricing strategy. What works for one brand is not going to work for yours. So it's not as simple as being a player in a space and saying, well, I noticed that my competitor raised their prices by 10% and it seems to be doing pretty well for them. You have to go and find that out for yourself, because you might just say, oh, well, our competitors are doing it, so we'll do it too. And that might come back and haunt you by all of your customers don't want to buy your product anymore. And your conversion rate, dips, or, without testing that, your conversion rate could be dipping and you don't even know why, if it's actually that price increase that's doing it. And so, the answer is always to test for your own store. Don't look at the competitors and what they're doing. If you do, use that as a hypothesis and really understand what works well for your brand, not what everybody else is doing. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Steal like an artist, right? Like everything's a remix. Like don't go, like I shouldn't look at what Christos is doing and being like, exactly what he's doing is going to work for me. But hey, I can draw inspiration from what Christos is doing and then apply it to the realities of my business. And I think that's why I love when you were saying, hey, just go install Intelligems and let's get some of these baselines in. Let's take a look at what's happening for you. And then like, hey, other brands have attempted things like this, but hey, looking at your specifics, like I don't think that's actually going to work. I think we should move over here. Christos, before I let you go,
Yeah.
talk to me a bit about so I buy things all the time. And I think a lot of people end up being intimidated by taking a demo, especially with a SaaS tool. So
Yeah.
maybe you want to give our listeners like, hey, what does taking a demo with IntelliGems feel like? If people don't already trust that it's like, hey, very consultative based on everything you've said, like,
Yeah.
what does it typically look like for someone taking a call with you?
Yeah. I mean, for starters, I think I'm a very nice, friendly person. I don't want to come off as scary. So hopefully nobody's afraid to come and book a demo with me. But yeah, I mean, maybe you could it could be something like going to the doctors. I think a lot of people, maybe they are a little bit nervous to go to the doctor, but at the end of the day, like I'm just here to kind of have a conversation, learn a little bit more about your business, what's kind of keeping you up at night, and how we can kind of come up with a solution to fix that. It's not about selling our platform. It's not about pitching down your throat or anything like that. Like I love to work with all the amazing brands that we get to work with every single day. And I just love to have these conversations and learn more about what people are doing out there. So I think it's a very consultative conversation. You tell me, a little bit about what's going on with the business, and I can help come up with the solution to help you achieve your goals, and hope it's nothing to be, scared of.
Love it. You heard it here. Come grab a demo with Intelligems. It's not going to be scary. You can ask for Christos. You know exactly how he's gonna treat you from this podcast. So, also, before we go, Christos, you are getting more and more active on LinkedIn. Anywhere else where people can kind of follow along with you? LinkedIn, Twitter, anywhere else you want to plug?
No, not at the moment. I guess I have a lot of exciting personal things going on with my photo book and my photography ventures, and that'll be I'll post that on my LinkedIn in the very short coming days. So really excited to put out my photography. Very passionate about that, and working with some amazing brands on that too. So stay tuned on that. But yeah, really appreciate the shout, Alex.
Love it. Thanks for jamming with me.
Yeah, I appreciate your time.